Well, welcome. And my name is Bob Fox, and our show today is Heroes of Hampton Roads. And my special guest is Gordon Robertson, who is the president and CEO of the Christian Broadcasting Network, president and director of Operation Blessing, host of the 700 Club, which many people know about, and chancellor of Regent University here in Virginia Beach. And welcome, Gordon. It's a real honor and privilege to have you.
Well, it's great to be with you, Bob. I'm pleased to be with you on the show.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on, because we're going to tell a story that I don't think has been told adequately here in Hampton Roads, of how the family of CBN Ministries, and I've mentioned just some of them, have made a major impact upon the people, the culture, and the life of Hampton Roads for, 50 years, 60 years?
We started all the way back in 1961, so
All right.
we're well into our 60s now.
60 some years. Yeah.
I think in 2026 we'll have our 65th anniversary.
65th. And I've been here for 40 years in 2026 and watching what God has done in CBN. I've been a part of some of the ministries from time to time. And I don't think people understand that it's not just your international reach, your national and international reach, which is, of course, historic, the first Christian broadcasting network in America, and then all those affiliate ministries, CBN ministries overseas, one of which you started in the Philippines. People know about that and love it and appreciate it, but I don't think they understand how here in Hampton Roads, God has used CBN Ministries. So tell us a little bit about Operation Blessing to begin with. I understand that they're involved in the local community as well as nationally and internationally.
Well, the roots of the humanitarian work of CBN literally go back to the 1960s. And in the 1960s, it was Channel 27, WYAH.
Okay.
And in those beginning years, Dad would sometimes run down to the corner store and ask them to turn on the TV and turn to Channel 27 so he could make sure that we were actually on the air. And I remember the first time our signal crossed the James River and we got a phone call from Newport News that now we were big time. Things were going great. And it was the first 20 years of the ministry. It was really entirely focused on Hampton Roads. In the 1970s, there was a station in Atlanta, Georgia, then another one in Dallas, Texas, some radio stations in upstate New York. But the bulk of everything was always Channel 27 in Hampton Roads. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until satellite television took over that, and Dad was a pioneer in satellite television, and then from that, a pioneer in cable television, that the ministry went first nationally, and then when I moved to the Philippines in 1994, that became the model for international. So it was CBN Asia, then CBN India, and then CBN Hong Kong, CBN Beijing, CBN Thailand, CBN Indonesia were all established in a very short period of time from 1994 to 1999. And now 90% of our audience is international. The roots of Operation Blessing go back to those early days on Spratley Street in Parkview in Portsmouth. And the very first humanitarian mission that CBN sponsored was to help the Navajo Indians. There had been this horrible cold front, snowstorm. They were trapped, and the need was tremendous. And Dad found out about the need and what can we do? And so he went on air and asked for blankets, asked for food, and asked for clothing. And the outpouring from Hampton Roads was incredible. And the studio literally got filled with blankets and food and clothing. And then I remember the trucks leaving. We had to hire trucks in order to carry that abundance that was given all the way to Arizona for the Navajo relief effort. So that was the beginning of it. Formally, it was, in the 1970s, and Dad typically in his prayer time, asking God, "What do you want me to do?" And he got inspired by Isaiah 58.
Right.
This is the fast that I've called you to. The fast of, when you see the hungry, you feed them. When you see the naked, you clothe them. When you see the homeless, you house them. And the idea came to him, and a lot of it, based back on that Navajo outreach. Let's publicize a need, and people who see the need can come and help that need. So you're using the transmission, you're using the platform of media to say, here are people in need, and if you have resources, would you help those in need? And that became the focus and the beginning of Operation Blessing. And initially, that was very small, and it was primarily food relief right here in Hampton Roads, the famous Thanksgiving meal that outgrew the convention center. And that was sort of a signature thing for Operation Blessing to do every Thanksgiving, every Christmas, to do that kind of outreach. And then in the 1990s, that turned into how do we warehouse and transport to all food banks that we can find. And those food banks were here in Hampton Roads, but there are also across the nation. That grew into a distribution network of over 4,000 churches, food banks, supplying the poor people of the United States with food, and doing so for free. The food is donated. I've gone to more of a purchase model now. What's the need in the community? Sometimes when you're just donation oriented, you can get disproportionate things that aren't necessarily meeting the nutritional needs of an average family. So let's go to what's the need, and let's provide for that need. If it comes donated, great. But if we go out and buy it, great. Can we buy it at a discount? Can we buy it in bulk? So all of these things are working. And it's, we call it Kingdom Coalition. It's a coalition of partners who are very good at distributing food in their communities. And how can Operation Blessing come in and make sure that pantry is really, really full? Right now, we're shifting some of that locally. I'm doing some test cases, primarily in Chesapeake and Virginia Beach, working with HR CAP, the Head Start program, identifying families in need, and then tracking them through grade school, junior high school, to make sure that the nutritional need of that family is met. Operation Blessing, partnering with Regent University, the School of Education. School of Education has been around for decades, has 600 graduates placed in the public school system right here in Hampton Roads. And so how do we use that network, work with Head Start? I can't say enough good things about Edith White and HR CAP and what they're doing, primarily in the peninsula, but they have an outreach in Chesapeake. We're working with the Virginia Beach school system, and that program is really growing. In one of the pilot programs, got a great idea that what instead of just providing food, we teach the children, not just the needy children, but all of them, how to grow food on their own and how to have a vegetable garden. And how to have fresh vegetables. It's a great idea. And, it's one of the great things of running organizations like this, when you free people to be innovative and say, let's go and see what the need is and how can we meet the need. Number one thing we do is ask the recipient, well, what do you want? Instead of us imposing. What do you want? What will really make a difference? In disaster scenarios, we always go to the mayor and say, tell us what your greatest need is, and we'll see if we can fulfill it. So, how can we be innovative? How can we be constructive? But, just imagine a bunch of junior high students learning how to do a vegetable garden so they can have fresh vegetables, and just the whole process of that. And then whatever the produce that the school creates goes to the neediest students so that they can have fresh vegetables in their meals at home, particularly on the weekends. It's a wonderful program.
And I know that you supported the outreach programs of certain organizations.
It has expanded. We're not just doing this locally, but, because we're a military town, it's one of the main outreaches. It's called Helping the Home Front. And so, I grew up here, so I know the struggles that military families go through. And when you have long deployments of a parent or a spouse, it's a hardship, and it's a hardship on the family. The military isn't really known for paying a whole lot of money. So when a spouse or a parent is away, the actual financial burden is the family's taking the brunt of that.
Right.
So I wanted to say, well, we recognize you're serving too, that you're sacrificing for your country. And, let's do what we can to help you. So helping the home front's wonderful. So if a military family, active duty military family, sometimes they have car trouble and they don't have enough money to pay for the repair. Sometimes they have a house that needs a new roof or a new HVAC. Sometimes they will have a special needs child that needs extra care. So what can Helping the Home Front do? And so how do we have a network that's tied into the military chaplains and also tied into local churches who serve the military families in areas? How do we start surfacing needs and letting them know there are people that really care about what happens to them and are there to provide? So in military communities across the nation, but right here in Hampton Roads, it's a great outreach to help people in need.
Well, I've been in the military, and I know exactly what you're talking about, especially for the enlisted folks. It is a real struggle when their men or women go overseas and they're left at home to pick up all the slack, so to speak. Well, let's talk about Regent University for a little bit. I know this is a big part of your dad's life and your life, and you're now the chancellor. And obviously, because it's physically based here, it's making an obvious impact upon our region. What would you like to tell us about that? And don't forget to talk about the sports program.
Well, I'll lead with the sports program. We're launching out a new athletic center. We've already cleared the land, or in the process of finishing the clearing. Lord willing, we'll break ground in August. We've done a capital campaign, and then we'll do a bond issue. And the project is a big project. It's $65 million. So it's a big one. And what my hope is that we'll have a facility that will not only serve the graduate and undergraduate student population, but also be a place where high school tournaments or visiting teams can come. So there'll be an athletic center with full training, full locker room, and NCAA compliant basketball and volleyball. Then again, NCAA compliant track. In the center oval of the track will be a soccer field, stands, men and women's softball field, a baseball field. Then we'll have tennis courts and pickleball. And the whole thing is designed to be able to have team buses come easily, let out their teams, and plenty of parking for people that want to come and watch the sports. And that's a big new initiative for Regent University. And specifically for developing the undergraduate on-campus population of Regent. We'll need more residential housing, and we'll also need more dining facilities. So Those will be the next steps. And then looking at additional classroom space will be yet another step. And then we're looking at really expanding the cybersecurity educational program. I want to start a whole AI educational program. The biggest schools that we have currently, School of Psychology and Counseling, School of Education, School of Divinity, and then the School of Law. All of those are graduates and graduate programs. Regent University started as a graduate school. There was no undergraduate at all. And it's only been in the last 15 years, 20 years, that undergraduate was even allowed. And it was initially designed to be an online experience, and then has morphed into the Honors College as an on-campus experience. And in all of that, we really want to focus on the spiritual life of the students. And there's a whole discipleship course called We Believe that is going to be student-led. The chapel services are just really dynamic, and we have this thing called the Unchapel on Thursday nights that's all student-led. There's some faculty that are supervising, but we really want it to be a student experience.
Genuinely, that has changed the way that I have thought about myself.
Our motto is Christian leadership to change the world. And you don't get leaders until you trust them with leadership. So as part of their on-campus experience, we want to trust them with leadership, that they can lead a discipleship group. They can lead a chapel service. I teach a spiritual gifts class, where God wants all of his children to exercise all of his gifts. And so that's really injected a lot of vitality into these programs. And I just really love doing that. And, the future is very bright for Regent University going forward. And the best news is we've got 500 acres right here in Virginia Beach. And so we've got plenty of room to grow and fulfill my father's vision. He wanted 25,000. So we're almost halfway there. And when the athletic center comes on and we can get to that 4,000, we'll be roughly 15,000 students and on our way to victory.
Wow, that is a huge vision, and I'm really excited about all of it, and especially the sports program, because I know that's going to draw people here who will, for sports, if nothing else. But the bigger point I want to make here is that, which most people don't think about, is that CBN, through its family of ministries, Regent University, CBN Operation Blessing, ACLJ, the Founders Inn, etc., you're drawing some of the best and brightest people from around the nation and the world into Hampton Roads. And those people are going to churches. Many of them graduate and live here permanently. CBN has seeded Hampton Roads with a very high quality of Christian residents and citizens. And their impact on the community, of course, is untold. I know as a former pastor, I had CBN students in my church from India. We're still friends. All around the world, we have been impacted by such high quality people. And then, of course, you train them to be even more equipped for leadership and ministry. So I want to thank CBN. We will at the end for everything. But that in particular, all the people that I've met at CBN over the years, almost 40 years, have really impressed me as being sincere, godly, dedicated Christian men and women. And they wouldn't be here, a lot of them, without CBN Ministries.
No, thank you, Bob.
So, it's CBN, as you mentioned earlier, is one of the best untold stories in the area.
Just for the region, we're the only national television show, and right from our studios in Virginia Beach. So that puts us on a map. We have a satellite studio. So we've regularly uplinked guests that have appeared on, shows, networks like MSNBC and Fox News. We have that technical capability to do that, and that, every time we do one of those, it's up on the screen on a nationwide broadcast that you're coming from Virginia Beach. The executive leadership series, which was such a wonderful thing that Regent did, it got shut down for a period. I'm going to resurrect that, where we bring in top speakers in business and culture and law to come and talk to the leadership here in Hampton Roads. So hopefully this fall we'll restart that series and be a blessing to the business community here. But the brain drain is a very real thing, where because of just the opportunity, our best and brightest, whether they're going to the University of Virginia or William & Mary here in Virginia, or they're going to Emory in Atlanta or any of the Ivy Leagues, the phenomenon is they don't come back. That they go off somewhere else to use their skills and talents. I want to reverse that we have opportunities right here in Hampton Roads for our best and brightest, and how do we grow that population? Our honors college is geared directly at that. How do we attract the best and brightest from around the nation, and then how do we introduce them into Hampton Roads? And being in a beach town is not so bad. So how do we show off what we have here and have a school of entrepreneurship and come up with new ideas and new ways to do business right here in Hampton Roads? Sports tourism is a big thing, and so if we're able to host high school tournaments in these new facilities, what a wonderful benefit to the entire community, and just be a magnet for high school athletes from across the nation. And again, once they're exposed to it, they might get the bright idea, this would be a great place to live.
So two things I wanted to mention quick that some people don't know. The family channel that CBN spinned off some years ago, your brother Tim, I think, was the head of it back then. They gave $1 million to the, out there at the beach, that big zoo, it's like where all the fish are.
The aquarium.
The aquarium.
Tim and my father really wanted to support, and the family channel is a for-profit business. Was really generous, and so whether it was the Norfolk Zoo or the Virginia Beach Aquarium, long-standing sponsorship of the Virginia Symphony, the arts. My brother was on the board of the Chrysler Museum. We want to do our part to make sure the cultural landscape of Hampton Roads is as vibrant as it possibly can be. Then on top of that, I'm bringing back the Christmas Village, so we can have an experience of what's it like to be in one of the European Christmas markets, and have all of that, and have performances, have church choirs singing carols, have the Virginia Symphony here with their brass, and have the live nativity scene, and really tell the real story of Christmas. We'll have a Santa's cottage too, so you can have your child come sit in Santa's lap, and you can write down notes about what he wants for Christmas. And we're bringing all that back. The long-standing celebration of Rosh Hashanah, the support that CBN has given to the Jewish community here locally and to Israel is now needed more than ever. I'm so disturbed by the rise of anti-Semitism, and I want the Jewish community here and across America and around the world. I'll be talking with the ambassador to the Philippines in a couple of weeks from Israel, and just how we stand with them, and how much the Hampton Roads stands with Israel and stands with the Jewish community.
Amen. Two things. One, I watch your news show, the 700 Club news show, every day practically. And I don't know if a lot of people know that it is an excellent news show for local and international and national news. And lastly, people who would like to pray with others for their salvation or healing, they can go and work on the prayer lines. It's an 800 number that's national, I guess. And local people are hired all the time in what couple of languages, I think, to do that. And it's one of the few places in the world where you can lead people to the Lord from all over the nation, from right here in Hampton Roads.
All over the world. I mean, we get calls from all over the world. So the
wow.
English language broadcast is distributed in Europe and in Africa. There's a Spanish version that goes out to Central and South America. But even for the Spanish language programs that we produce out of Mexico City, we're operating a Spanish call center to support that broadcast. So there are multiple languages, and we've gone with a distributed workforce for that. So literally, you can work from home. It's been it's really great when retired pastors say, "How can I use my ministry skills?" And well, we can get you set up right in your own home. And
I did not know that.
you can have your you can work as long as you want. It's up to you to set your hours. We've got shifts, and we have to make sure that you're on at a time where we're getting phone calls. But it's open 24 hours, so the call demand goes up and down depending on is the show on or off. But there is sort of this steady call volume, and it would be a great benefit to people that either have to be caregivers in their home or don't want to travel and have that expense to go to work, and you can get some income and be in ministry all at the same time.
I did not know that, and I've been around here for a long time, that you could do it from home as a retired pastor. That's amazing. Of course, we haven't talked about Founders Inn and all the wonderful conferences that they've hosted over the years, even weddings, all kinds of wonderful things that have blessed the community. And we haven't talked about the ACLJ, which is a Christian legal defense group that has defended, I'm sure, Christians here as well as nationally. CBN does so much. It's just hard to keep up with it. But I just want to thank you for coming on the show and giving us a glimpse of what CBN has done, is doing, and is about to do. So I hope that this little show here will help people appreciate and support and get involved with CBN at every level, send their kids to Regent, go to all the wonderful Christmas things you're going to do, get involved with the sports programs over there, even at the high school level. And of course, watch the 700 Club and support the 700 Club. Thank you, Gordon, for carrying on the vision that your God gave to your father, and for all the people that you've blessed and your father has blessed over these past 60-some years. And we pray that God will just bless you and prosper you even more in the years to come.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate you. Thanks for this opportunity.